Delighted to see all of you. I'm so glad you're here for another, well, and for this particular night. This is such an important night for all of us. I mean, in terms of finding ways to gather together and to really be together in a very disrupted, disturbing time that has fear and anxiety and all kinds of emotions going on for us and for the whole world. One of the comforts I have is that it's not just us. The whole world is really feeling this together, and that's a powerful experience. So I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came for some healing and some, hopefully, a renewed sense of people power, of all the ways that human beings have resisted war and violence, have found very creative ways to stop tanks with their bare bodies and haul them away with tractors. You probably saw the video of the Ukrainian farmer hauling a tractor, with his tractor, hauling away a Russian tank off his property. Very, very inspiring stuff. So welcome to No Better Time to Sing. Welcome to a night of peace and a night of women, celebrating women and women's peacemaking in this world. There's a lot of wonderful stories that I will tell. We'll be telling some of them tonight, many more than we can tell. But that's our plan for tonight. And, I just wanted to say that although it's a frightening time and we're seeing horrific images from Ukraine, and we know there's a threat that hovers, and the people of Europe and everywhere are very, very nervous right now. But if you've been watching the good stuff that's coming in on YouTube and media and so forth, we are seeing some pretty incredible, inspiring things. And one of them is the way this horrible situation is bringing a lot of the world together, the majority of the world together, in a kind of international unity that I don't think I've seen in my lifetime. I was born in 1950, so I missed World War II. And that's, and then seeing the nonviolent resistance in the Ukraine, some of which I'll describe later and maybe show just a little video. And then we see this all-powerful, dictator figure who's blustery, and, we've had one of those too, and is looking unbeatable. Like this, I'm just going to go in there and wipe these people out, and to see that that's not happening. That is not happening. And it's very, very inspiring. So there's huge peace demonstrations in France and in Germany, and there's going to be one here. I'll see if I can get it up when Bon, our guest artist, is on later. I'll try to find a link for the current US one. I just got it. So we're going to sing. We're going to hold quiet together. We're going to celebrate International Women. And here we go. Here we go. Have your candles ready if you brought a candle. We're going to be wanting to show them soon. Well, I want to start tonight with a traditional, totally familiar song of peace. And I wanted to do that because, when things are feeling like I've never been here before, this is the most incredible thing, we don't know. It's really good to remember how long people have been marching, singing, working for peace. So let's sing Down by the Riverside. And I'm going to need some verses from you, okay? So I'm going to do a couple, and then we're going to have you put some in the chat, and we can sing them. Here we go. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna resist we're gonna risk war non-violently. No, that's not right. Oh, I had it all planned out. Let me see. Practice nonviolence. Let's go with that. We're gonna practice nonviolence down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna practice nonviolence down by the riverside. Study war no more. Go ahead and put some ideas in the chat. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna build no border wall. Thank you. Ain't gonna build no border wall down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Ain't gonna build no border wall down by the riverside. Study war no more. Sing it out. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Let's see now. I'm gonna walk the steps of Gandhi. I'm gonna walk the steps of Gandhi down by the riverside. Let me hear you. Down by the riverside, energetically. Down by the riverside, gonna walk the steps of Gandhi. Down by the riverside, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Ain't gonna study verse about the immigrants is actually really an important one, because one of the things we've noted, that we've been hearing other people noting, is how the way that Ukrainian immigrants are being welcomed into Poland and other East European countries is so different from the Syrian refugees and refugees from Africa, refugees from poorer countries and black and brown countries. And this is worth noting, right? That when we say all the immigrants, and I know that's what you meant when you put it in the chat, we mean all the immigrants. And there was just a really beautiful one from Benet. What was it? We're going to join with other democracies, I think it was. Going to join with other democracies down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Going to join with other democracies down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 And we're gonna just do one more, just because we could go on all night. You have beautiful ideas. I'm so glad they're in the chat. But someone said, I'm going to plant the seeds of love, and I couldn't read the rest of it, but I'm going to say peace. And just note that behind me is what looks a lot like a sunflower to me, and wheat blades of grass. And we know now that the Ukrainian national flower is the sunflower, and they're a great wheat growing nation. So this is a nice one to end with. We're going to plant this. I'm going to plant the seeds of love and peace. Gonna plant the seeds of love and peace down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna plant the seeds of love and peace down by the riverside. Study war no more. Open up, let it out. I ain't gonna study war no more. No, 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 war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study. No, 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 study. No, 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 study war no more. Go right into a little chant that we can send out to the people of Ukraine, the people of Russia, any people who are feeling frightened and threatened by the situation right now. From this circle of love, I send you peace. From this circle of love, from this circle of love, from this circle of love, I send you peace. From this circle of love, from this circle of love, from this circle of love, I send you peace. From this circle of love, 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 I send you peace. Beautiful harmonies possible. If you sing the melody, da-da-da, like I've been doing, I'll sing harmony. Ready? I'm going to do harmony. From this circle of love, from this circle of love, from this circle of love, I send you peace. So try that one. From this circle of love, that's the melody. Here's the harmony. From this circle of love, I'll go back to melody. From this circle of love, I send you peace. Let's send love. From this circle of love, circle of love, circle of love, circle of love. From this circle of love, care to lift it up and hold it to the screen so we can see it. Sending you light from this circle of love, from this circle of love, from this circle of love, I send you light. La 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 from this circle of love, from this circle of love, from this circle of love, I send you peace. Oh, very nice. Let's see. Having an odd thing go on in my computer where I'm on speaker, but I've got somebody else in my viewer. I don't know why. Well, so it is. It's all right. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to just move into our meditation now for a little bit. We always take a few moments to be quiet and settle a bit and gather ourselves in from the day. I think we've already done a lot of that. I like to start with song because that really kind of gets everything going, and here we are. But I do want to give us an opportunity, especially while things are so overheated. And I don't know about your nervous system, but we're not built for this. We're not wired for this ongoing day after day threat. You all know the neurology of stress, which is you're in the jungle, the wildebeest comes close, you get completely terrified, and then you either get eaten or you run away and are safe, and then it's over. And animals literally go off in the bushes and shake for 3 or 4 minutes, and then they're like, fine. They rejoin the pack, they have a good lunch, and it's all over. Not so easy for us, is it? So let's just take a moment to just all take a deep, deep breath together. And let it out nice and slow. If your candle's in front of you, feel free to just gaze at it and really soak in the light, the steadiness, the warmth. If you want to close your eyes, of course, that's a wonderful thing to do, and just look at the ground, or let your eyes soften a bit. And just let your body kind of open up to breath and the fact that you're actually being supported by something, whether it's a sofa or a chair or cushion.
Do you know where Kitty is?
Oh my goodness, we got a little problem
Locked
here.
up.
I gotta fix this. Sorry, folks. I see what the problem is. Okay, I fixed it. I love Zoom. I love you all. I love that we're still doing this and we've kept our good humor. So yeah, so just letting your body soften, open to the breath. With every out breath, sigh and release anything from the day. Just let it go. If your shoulders are just crunched tight, big breath in, let them drop. Breathe out. Fill your belly and your chest real full, and then whoosh, just let it all out. Breathe all the way down through your legs and breathe a deep out sigh. Let your legs just go soft. And feel the support of your chair, your cushion, the floor, whatever your hips are resting on. And just allow the possibility that you're actually held safely in this moment. In this moment, we are safe. And if we were our more primitive animal selves, this moment is all we would know. Very little memory, very little, if any, future projection just now. So let's go into our animal bodies and just know that we are safe right now. Circle around for freedom, circle around for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Bon, would you spotlight me? Do you know how to do that? Just go to my name in the participant list and click on the more and put spotlight on. Sing with me Linda Hirschorn's beautiful Song of Peace. Circle around for freedom, circle around for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. One more time. Sometimes it's nice to just do a little bit of a gesture, to just feel that sense of opening to encircle the planet. And I know we're singing this all the way out to our fellow human beings, all the frightened ones, all the brave ones, all the nonviolent protesters, all the soldiers, all the oligarchs, all the arms merchants. Oh my goodness, do they ever need to be circled in love? We got to make it a big, big, big love, because there's some people out there really hurting. And some of the people hurting are doing incredible damage because they don't know how to just feel their own vulnerability. So we're going to circle them and circle ourselves, our dear, beloved, sweet selves. Circle around. Circle around for freedom. Circle around for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. So lovely. Okay, so I just need to take care of a couple of things. As I mentioned, I don't have a co-host tonight for a while, so there's a few mechanical things that need doing that I gotta do. And I wish it were different, but it's not, and I know y'all don't really care whether I'm spotlighted or not. So one thing I'm gonna do is put the lyrics. Oh, somebody, I already did it. Okay, I'm gonna put the lyrics in again in case some of you came late. So if you want to look at lyrics, go right ahead. Let's see if there's anything else in the chat. Okay, I think we're good. And Yeah, one thing I did want to mention is we found it really works better if people don't use the chat while someone is singing. It's kind of in fact it's really distracting. So refrain from chatting until the times between the songs, and then you're welcome to chat. Absolutely, we welcome that. Okay. I'm going to do one more song, and then I'm going to welcome on our beloved and wonderful guest, Bon Singer from Kitka. This is a song I've done several times throughout the last couple of years here, but tonight's the night. This is Women's Month, so the 8th is International Women's Day, and I think a lot of you know that I spent a lot of 2015-16 going around Asia and Africa meeting with women to understand more the power that grassroots village women had in doing some incredible things that I knew about. And I've got to meet these women, because here's women in the West, especially, women in America and the West, who have a lot more obvious privileges and access economically, employment, freedom to, lots of freedoms that poor Black and brown women in the Southern global South don't necessarily have. And yet their leadership is powerful, powerful. And so I went around to meet them and find out more about how they do it and what it is. So here's my tribute to international women called These Hands. Chorus is in your lyrics. Oh, I forgot to hold on, I gotta do one last thing. Oh, I'll be so glad when I have a host. Okay, here we go. These hands have caught a newborn baby daughter. These hands have gently closed the eyes in death. These hands have sifted flour and poured the water, kneaded the dough for daily bread. These hands have woven many colors, held the plow, chopped the sugar cane, signed petitions, held the gavel, knitted up what's come unraveled, lifted up the crying child and eased the pain. And these hands can build a world of peace, and the world is waking up to understand that nothing can be changed till the power's rearranged, and we put our trust again in women's hands. Sing that with me. And these hands can build a world of peace, and the world is waking up to understand that nothing can be changed till the power's rearranged, and we put our trust again in women's hands. Imagine how our lives would prosper if a mother's eyes saw hunger all around, and her hands held the power to sign the order, to bring the wealth to wherever the need was found. Imagine all the peace within our hearts, to know that all are safe, warm, free. No one's needs denied, no one left behind. isn't really hard when we are family. And these hands can build a world of peace. Sing with me. The world is waking up to understand that nothing can be changed till the power's rearranged and we put our trust again in women's hands. And these hands, and these hands can build a world of peace. And the world is waking up to understand that nothing can be changed till the power's rearranged and we put our trust again in women's hands. Nothing can be changed till the power's rearranged and we put our trust again in women's hands. Thank you. It always feels so good to sing that song. So I now want to introduce to you a woman who I have known of for a long time, but I don't remember if we've ever met. But when I was thinking about tonight, I just knew she was the person I most wanted to have here with me. So, Bond Singer, I'm going to ask you to unmute. I may have to help you with that. Unmute. Yeah, there we go. There you go. There you are. And I'm going to spotlight you because I'm so darn good at it.
Oh, baby.
There you are. And, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because you know yourself so much better than I. And I want you to just take it away. And thank you so much because I bet you're in high demand these days. I know you were with Jennifer Barazan on Monday, but I feel privileged, honored, and grateful that you're here. So, please.
Well, I'm very honored to be asked. It's, during these times, it's really hard to be with a lot of people, sometimes even a couple. And so this is just a thrill for me. And also my homies back in the Bay Area too, because I'm now in Colorado. So, yeah, I actually haven't been doing much. My identity is kind of gone since I moved to Colorado. I'm trying to figure out who I am now. Um, but the music I have done is, yes, I did Kitka for many years and directed them. Um, but also then I formed a group called Yaela, which did music, well, spiritual music. I mean, I wrote the music. So it's not like spiritual music from way back then, but it was about things that, all paths could relate to. So it wasn't one spiritual path. It's like if somebody heard Yaela, they'd say, oh, yeah, Christian stuff. And then if a Jew heard it, it's like, yeah, that's Jewish stuff. And a Muslim, a Buddhist, it's all the things that we want to, we all believe anyway. Well, most of us anyway. Um, so, um, so that's who I am. I don't know who the heck I am, but if anybody has any ideas, put it in the chat, please. um, do you want? I'll introduce a song that I'm going to do. This song is Ukrainian, and I think it's kind of perfect for right now because the translation is something that I think they need just to be enveloped in right now. It is quiet on the river. The evening is dark. The enchanted wood is sleeping. Nearby, it is whispering a story secretly. Sadly sighs a willow. The evening is spilling the silvery stars. They are reflected on the bottom of the river. Birches are weeping on that shore. From afar are flowing songs. And I think about just wanting to hold those people there. So this is Ticho, as I said, a Ukrainian song. What did I say I wanted to do this song on? Okay, sorry. Indulge me. Тихо над річкою Niciancă-ți-măia spiritual charuvanimis. Nici noi șepocevin cascutaiem sunozit caverbois. Nici noi șepocevin cascutaiem noiu sunozit caverbois. Nici carosi plauzuri srebljasti omvoni reč sinani plačut berezi potujbi кудряві, здалека линут пісні. Плачуть берези потойбі, кудряві, здалека линут
Vaughn,
That's a
that
great
is just
song.
such an incredibly haunting song.
Isn't
And
it? Isn't it?
oh, just so much. And it's funny, because I wanted you to do that one, or I wanted to play it from Kitka, and I called you and said, I don't know the title. I want Kitka to, to sing it before the program. And you said, well, I'm already going to sing it.
I know it's funny. I only selected a few songs, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I was going to do. Well, the thing is, it works well on its own, and a lot of Ukrainian stuff I have is very choral, it just wouldn't work as a solo. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do love this one. It's very satisfying to sing too, because I don't know, it feels spiritual. I feel like I'm holding people and
Yeah.
myself when
Well,
I sing that song. It is a beauty.
it is, and the way you sing it, I mean, I could feel you holding it. I have a quick question. What made you want to start a Balkan singing group? How did you get interested in Balkan music?
I didn't start it because,
Okay.
for one thing, I sang with a group called Danica, and so I joined that. First, I got into the dance, international dance, focusing on Balkan,
Oh,
and
okay.
then the music is so awesome. I don't know if any of you out there have done Balkan dancing, but it's
A little bit,
the
a little
music,
bit.
yeah, just lights you on fire. So, so I was very attracted to the music, and so there was a group that sang very much like Kitka, and then Kitka was actually formed as an adjunct, a choral adjunct to a dance group called West Wind. Actually, it wasn't just a dance group. There was singing and instrumental music. It was everything. And that was the happiest time in my life.
Oh boy.
I danced
Whew.
with
Yeah.
oh,
Oh.
God. Oh, to be 22 again. But anyway.
Well, I haven't seen that for a long time. Okay,
Yeah,
so go for it,
Yeah.
Vaughn. Give us another one.
Okay, so the other few I want to sing are Russian. And you might say, well, that's kind of weird. But the way I see it is Putin is do I need to say? And the Russian people are not necessarily. They're like us. They're like the Ukrainians. And they're suffering too. And especially um, the soldiers. And I love, like Betsy, what you were talking about it, and some who just destroyed their vehicles and surrendered. And I hope and I'll bet that they're actually being treated very nicely by the Ukrainians, knowing that they're really kind of on their side. This song is kind of like that. I mean, sometimes the boys just get kidnapped, they get drafted to be in the army. It's not what they want. And this song is about a very young man saying, I want to really go back to mom and dad and my young wife. So he's one of those. Okay. Oi da ti kali anushka ti mali anushka oi da ti niskaloy Nagarya krutai, oi da ni stoi, oops, sorry, ni stoi nagarya. Ой, да не спущай листа в осеннее море. Ой, да ты калинишка, ты маленушка, ой, да ты не стой, не стой на горе крутой. Ой, да ты не стой, не стой на горе крутой. Ой, да не спущай листа в осеннее море. Makes me so sad about those
Yeah.
kids. I have two sons, and when I think about them being grabbed up and having to fight, I mean, one's a plumber apprentice and the other one works at Sloan Kettering in cancer research, and they could just be stabbed and have guns. It's like, hey, go kill those kids that you don't know either. Just, woo.
And there was a story of some, people were heading for the borders from Ukraine trying to get out, and people were on buses, and all of a sudden the order came down, no men between 18 and 60 can leave.
Right.
And there was a couple of interviews and there was one young man who was a young gay Ukrainian, and he was on this bus, and had to leave. And it was like, I never played with guns when I was little. I never did anything like this.
Yes,
This is,
yes.
and it's like, yeah, these are just human beings who just,
Baby
get
human
snatched up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. And even more so when you have sons and you can imagine them. I mean, not to dismiss anybody else's feelings about it, but my attention goes there. Like, oh my God, those poor mothers over there. Even besides the soldiers, but of both sides. It's not the people who make the decision about war. It's the kids who get nabbed up and thrown into it.
Right. Exactly.
So this next song, you just can't have enough sad songs, right? So, well, I'm Jewish, so oi, everything is terrible and it'll never work and it'll never get better. So that's my motto. So this one is called Atavoye Maladu, and it is about, oh boy, here's a women's plight where, when we think of weddings here in America, we think, oh, a time of celebration, but that wasn't true for these girls back in Russia a long time ago. where they were basically sold off. They have to leave all of their fun, their buddies, and they're playing with their Russian Barbie dolls and stuff. And no, your life is over, and now you're just kind of like a slave to the man who you don't know who you've been married to. And not a fun celebration, I'll tell you. Oh, I'm going to give myself a note. Treat myself to a note here. Sorry, this is unprofessional. На чужую сторону. Ой, Галина, ой, Малина, на чужую сторону, в чужую деревню. Ой, I'm sorry, when I sing, my cat has to sing along with me. So, yeah, you're cracking me up there. Doesn't help. В чужую деревню, в большую семью. Ой, Галина, ой, Марина, как тетки говорят, и в Амацию ведут. Ой, Галина, ой, I'm going to American.
Beautiful. No, the cat really added something special. It was just the most plaintive sound. I
I
mean,
know.
oh, it was
Well,
very
you often
plaintive.
have, not in this song, but you'll often have a descant in Russian music, the fast, fun stuff. And not so good with the cat. He just doesn't sing in the right key, and it's kind of annoying. So I just put him out. I would like to sing, sorry, a Russian lullaby that I wrote. And the words mean, I love you, sweet little girl. I love you, my soul. Sweet, dear, my soul. And I love you, little boy, you sweet little punchkin schmunchkin. You're sweet and you're my soul. I love you more and more every time, every hour. You dear little girl, little boy, my soul. Okay. Люблю я тебя, сладкая девочка. Люблю я тебя, душа моя. Милая, сладкая душа моя. Милая, красная душа моя. Люблю я тебя, сладкий мальчик. Люблю я тебя, душа моя. Милый, сладкий, душа моя. Милый, красный, душа моя. Больше, больше каждый раз, больше, больше каждый час. Милые дети, дети, душа моя. Милые дети, душа моя. Больше, больше каждый раз, Ще больше каждый час, милая девочка и мальчик, душа моя, милые дети, душа моя. So that's my lullaby.
Oh, that's so
Mm.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. Don't you? I just think for everybody, I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of rocking, I'm
It is
feeling really
lullaby.
transported, to another time, another culture. There's something about hearing the music and language from
Uh-huh.
another culture that is so intimate. It's like I feel like I know things I don't know about like it
Yes,
just comes right in here.
yes, but think about the words of this song. Anybody who are parents, especially moms, I can't tell you what you're thinking, but what I'm thinking is that, if I were rocking my kids, well, one of them would be, screaming and driving me nuts, but in general, we love them. We want to sing lullabies to them, even
Yeah,
those of us who just can't carry a tune whatsoever.
absolutely.
It's so
Yes.
irrelevant. It's
Hmm.
completely irrelevant. And
Yeah.
um, yeah.
I
And then
used to do
also, no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I used to do workshops with new moms on music and babies, and
Yes,
I would say your baby loves your voice.
yes,
Believe me,
yes,
just don't even think twice. Your baby loves your voice.
absolutely. They will not judge. And the soul, the spirit that comes out of it, I mean, it almost doesn't matter what I'm singing. I feel singing feels very spiritual.
Oh,
And I'll bet I'm not alone in
totally.
feeling
Oh,
that.
that's why
Yeah.
we're all here. That's why we've been coming here for
Right,
2 years on
right.
Zoom
Yeah,
for
it's not like,
exactly
well, let's
that.
just play poker this tonight,
Yeah. Yeah,
Poker's
right.
fun, but it's not the
Yeah.
same feeling.
I want to give you something from the chat. Two things. One is that Pine Tree said that she was a member of Westwind Ensemble in
What's
1969.
what's
Isn't that
her
a trip?
actual name?
Maybe you could put, if you want to, Pine Tree, put it in the chat.
But you
And
said
then,
69?
yeah, 69.
Wow.
That's back a ways.
Wow, yeah, because I didn't join till 80. Oh no, 70, 79,
Okay, okay.
78. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she must have been gone when I got there, but
Wow,
yeah,
that's
what's
so
her
neat.
name? I'm not really looking at the
Yeah,
chat. Maybe you
that's
could
okay.
tell
No,
me.
no, that's why I gave it to you. You don't need to look at
Oh,
it.
okay,
And
okay,
Storm
okay.
also put in an old saying, it's harder to kill a people once you've sung their songs. That is absolutely
I like that. I
wonderful.
like that very much.
Yeah. So how about one more, Bon? You got another one?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, were you prepared to do one more?
I was, but now I have to think of what it was. We did two. Well, I could do this one, but I realized that I don't think I got all the words, but I might actually know it. Maybe we'll find out.
Do you
How's
want to
that?
do one later? Do you want to wait and do one later and
I can
find
do
it?
that. Let me
Find
just
what
look
you
at
want?
it. It looks like it ends here. Um, yeah. Why don't I do
Want to
that?
wait? Okay, we'll
What's
bring
ahead,
you back,
right?
and don't let me forget. Don't let me forget to
Okay.
bring you back.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. Oh, Bon, everybody, just give her a kind of silent,
Mhm.
all that good stuff. Let her
Thank
know
you.
you have given us something incredibly
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
All right, friends. Well, I wanted to I've been thinking a lot this week as I thought about being with you tonight about women and peacemaking. And of course, women are not the only ones, but I think there is something about our ways of collecting ourselves, of working collaboratively, of tending the village, of being those who are responsible for the children. This is the way society has organized itself, and that gives women a kind of a passion for peace that transcends physical strength or war making. And I want to spend just a little time telling you about women that I met in Liberia who did an incredible act of peacemaking. I don't have the date on my mind right now. I didn't have time to look it up, but I think it was around 90, no, either the 92 or 2002. I can't remember. But and I'll get to them in a minute, but as I thought about it, I also thought about other stories from around the world of women creating conditions for peace. And one of them, and this wasn't just women, but do you remember Estonia? And this was maybe even 10 or 12 years ago. They were under some threat that I don't remember, pardon my lack of history, but there was a point where people made a human chain across the entire country, because it's a very small country, and they sang. And they sang songs of their nation, of their land, of their love of their land. And it was their protest. It was their vocal protest. And there's so many stories like this, we know, of how people have brought their music to the front lines, the battle lines even. There's also something in the Congo that you may not know about called the City of Joy. And I wanted to bring this up because one of the ways women are impacted by war is sexual violence. We all know that rape has become a weapon of war, and it's very, very common, especially in countries where small villages are being taken over by mercenary soldiers or soldiers under dictators, and just terrible things happen to women. The Congo has been an incredible example of that. So Eve Ensler, who wrote the Vagina Monologues and started V-Day, which is a Valentine's Day celebration ending violence against women all around the world, she collaborated with Congolese women, and they created something called the City of Joy. And it's a safe place for women to live, women who have experienced rape and violence, to live and be renewed and receive all the healing they need, the social healing, the physical healing, and also economic elevation. And they've something like 1,700 women have spent time there and then moved back out into the world. So this is just another powerful example of women making peace and addressing the injuries of war. Oh gosh, there's so many more. If you know of any other stories of women making peace, please put them in the chat. This would be great to begin to put our collective knowledge of the power of peace, because all we hear about in the media is the power of bombs and guns and so-called diplomacy and all this stuff that is so frustratingly anti-life. So, but I want to tell you about Liberia, and I believe I've talked about the Liberian women before. When I was traveling on my big India-Africa adventure, I hadn't planned to go to Liberia, I'd planned to go to South Africa. But when I was at Plum Village, what an interesting connection. I was in Plum Village in France, which is Thich Nhat Hanh's retreat and monastic community in southern France. I learned that some of the monastics had gone to Liberia. They had a connection there and had been teaching mindfulness in communities where people had done nonviolent resistance during this terrible civil war that they had under the dictator Charles Taylor. And there was warlords, and there was Charles Taylor, and there was just people caught in the crossfire from all these raging violence, all this raging violence. So Plum Village folks had gone and taught mindfulness, and I said, can you get me there? I have been wanting to meet these women because I knew about what they did in this civil war. And so it was arranged, and I went to Liberia instead of South Africa, and I stayed with women in the town of Totota, and with Annie, who was the organizer of the village women in Totota. And this was well before mindfulness came. That was a much after, and was sort of a healing that was brought in by the Buddhists. So Annie and many other women were watching their husbands, fathers, sons going off, getting conscripted, or being lured away as child soldiers and disappearing into the jungle and into the war. And the bloodshed was horrible. Their daughters and themselves were the victims of sexual violence. And it went on, and there was the attempts to get people at the peace table never worked. There was a lot of that male posturing and, kind of puffed upness, well, I'm not going to back down and so forth, that we're seeing now. And the women finally said, we've got to stop this. And I'm not going to remember her name right now, but she was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And she asked women to come to Monrovia, the capital of Liberia, and meet and decide what to do. And what was radical, there was so much that was radical. One was it was women. The other was it was Muslim and Christian women. That was very unusual. So all came together in a large church there. And they prayed and fasted for 3 days. That was always what you do first, is you pray and fast before you do any strategizing. pretty wise. I think we should all take that one up. And then they talked together and they decided to mount a women's peace movement, a nonviolent peace movement, and to begin protesting outside the dictator's office buildings, Charles Taylor, in Monrovia, but also training women in the villages or training each other on how to resist when the soldiers came through. So Annie was one of those women who went back to her village and organized her village women. And these are the women that I got to meet. And they told me incredible stories of how they nonviolently would surround the soldiers when they came into the village. And they didn't surround them with threats, and they didn't surround them with homemade knives or, spoons to beat them with. They sang. And they sang the songs that these soldiers had probably heard growing up in their villages, because this was a very coherent society in many ways. And they would sing them the songs that their mother sang to them. And they would talk to them and say, what would your mother think if she knew you were doing this? Your mother misses you. Your village misses you. You don't belong here. You need to go home. You need to go home. And this was so moving. And I'm going to play you in a minute a video of one of the Liberian women telling this story to me in a gathering that we had. But the boys would say, I can't go home. I've been in the bush for 6 months. Their hair is out to here. It's, ratty and dirty, and they don't have civilian clothes, and they don't feel they can go home to their village. Everyone will know what they've done. So these women said, don't worry, come to it with us. They took them to a place where they could lay down their arms, and then they would give them showers or baths. They would cut their hair. They would give them clothes. So these boys could go home and be with their mothers and their communities. This is how women get stuff done. I am so proud of us women. Oh, so I'm going to just show you a little bit about Liberia. I just really love this, and I think you will too. This is a film that I made while I was there, and I edited it just for you tonight. I edited it down to a size that we can all, it won't be too long. Okay, here. Okay, I'm going to do better with the sound this time, I promise. Okay. Liberian women. Share sound. Optimize for video clip. Okay, I think I got it. In a minute. If you don't hear sound in about 1 minute, give me a thumbs down or something, okay? I know it's not happening yet. And this is in Monrovia at a gathering for women that I was there. I just happened to be there. They're the Peacemakers from all around Liberia having a gathering at a church where you can read it on the screen. This was a kind of a meeting to continue the work of peace.
We want peace. We want peace. All we want peace.
I feel so lucky to be here with you. And I bring you greetings of peace and love from the women of the United States. And I take you home with me in my heart to help women in the United States become as powerful as you are. We need to learn from you. We don't know how to do what you did, but we are going to learn, okay? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, leave in my hands. I will believe. We shall overcome someday.
So that's just a little fragment. I know you, yeah, it was, yes, it was quite an experience. I know you couldn't read all the words at the bottom of the screen, but I think you got the idea of it. The boys were singing, we were dancing, they laid down their arms, they were hugging the women, and anyway, so these were some of the women I met. And it just because of because of knowing about these things, I feel so encouraged that all we see on the screen and the social media and the official corporate media outlets is just not the half of the whole of what's going on. And there's a lot of hope in the middle of all this. I was thinking too about Lysistrata, that famous Greek play. It was by Aristophanes, actually, and it's way back 400 BC or something. And I just looked it up because I know basically the story of Lysistrata is the Trojan Wars or the Peloponnesian Wars going on and on and on. And the women decide that the best way to get it to stop is to withhold sex from their men, right? Pretty basic, makes sense to me. But I want to read you a little bit because this is pretty cool. And this play was written by a man, so there you go. They decided to do this to abjure all their sexual pleasures and they took this oath. Soon after the oath is finished, a cry of triumph is heard from the nearby Acropolis. The old women of Athens have seized control of it at Lysistrata's instigation, since it holds the state treasury, without which the men can no longer continue to fund their war. I'm giving you instructions, women, okay? This is what the women did. They got the bank, right? Follow the money. A chorus of old men arrives, intent on burning down the gate of the Acropolis if the women do not open it up. Encumbered with heavy timbers, inconvenienced with smoke, and burdened with old age, they are still making preparations to assault the gate when a chorus of old women arrives. I love how it's always old women, bearing pitchers of water. The old women complain about the difficulty they've had getting the water, but they are ready to fight for a fight in defense of their younger comrades. Threats are exchanged, water beats fire, and the old men are soaked. Makes me want to go see that play. And of course, we all have seen, I think, that wonderful video from the Ukraine of the older woman confronting the soldier on the streets of, I can't remember which town it was actually, but she has sunflower seeds, right? And she's back and forth with him. She's very, boy, she's something else. I think we have a link for her in the chat. But anyway, she says, take these sunflower seeds and put them in your pocket. Because then when you die, when you lie here, because you're not getting out of here alive if you keep doing what you're doing, when you die, at least we'll get some sunflowers out of it. Which is not the most nonviolent thing to say. But I still think it is a good thing to just don't mess with old women. Don't mess with old women. I think that's kind of the lesson. Yeah. So I think I'll do one more little song here, and then I want to bring Bon back for one more song. Okay. This is a song that I know a lot of you have sung. Well, not a lot of you, but some of you have sung with me in the past. It's in your lyrics, and it's a song that I wrote. Let me see if I can remember when I wrote it. I know it was... I think it was I know what it was. It was after 9/11 when the U.S. started bombing Afghanistan. And I know that you, like me, were probably just devastated. And, oh gosh, I just was sitting on my back porch, weeping, and thinking that for every soldier lost, for every life lost, there was a mother somewhere for whom that life was precious. and that the losses of war, they ripple out. It's not just the person who's killed, obviously. It's anyone who loved them. So I wrote this song, I Sing for the Mothers. Many of you know it. I hope you'll sing along. I sing for the mothers all over the earth, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers all over the earth, for their sorrow, for their love. Sing that with me, just that much. I sing for the mothers all over the earth, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers all over the earth, for their sorrow, for their love. Here's the next part. May their broken hearts be cradled, may their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the earth. Sing that. May their broken hearts be cradled, may their righteous anger be heard. May their broken hearts be cradled, may their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the earth. I sing for the mothers of soldiers at war. I sing for the mothers of soldiers at war, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers of soldiers at war, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled, may their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the earth. This is one where I thought maybe some of you could put some ideas in the chat of mothers, that things that mothers experience all over the world that we could be, holding in our hearts. I know in the past we've sung about mothers of children with AIDS, mothers in prison, mothers in homeless shelters, mothers at the borders. In fact, let's sing about borders, because a lot of mothers are heading for the borders right now. I sing for the mothers who are, let's see, I know, in refugee camps. Why don't we broaden it out to refugee camps? I sing for the mothers in refugee camps, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers in refugee camps, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled, may their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the earth. Anyone got an idea of a mother that you'd like to put into the chat? I've been working as a doula with moms who are single, young, low income, and doing an incredible job of being there for these children when they've barely gotten old enough to be there for themselves. So I'd like to sing for the mothers who mother alone. I sing for the mothers who mother alone, for their power, for their love. I ache I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the world. I'm trying to see if I can do that, Karen. It's hard to fit all those words in. I got it. I sing for the mothers at the borderlines, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers at the borderlines, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled. May their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and freedom from all of the mothers all over the earth. Got one more coming here. I sing for the mothers resisting the war, for their power, for their love. I ache for the mothers resisting the war, for their sorrow, for their love. May their broken hearts be cradled, sing with me. May their righteous anger be heard. I pray for justice and healing for all of the mothers all over the earth. Let's repeat all over the earth, all over the earth. You can play with it. All over the earth, all over the earth. It's a wail, it's a cry. Let your hearts just sing and cry with this aching open all over. Thank you. Thank you for singing that with me. And thank you for all that you all are doing in your own ways for peace. There are so many ways to bring more peace into the world. They can be very individual and private, as you know. There's lots of petitions to sign. There's lots of places to donate. We're going to be donating tonight to food relief for refugees at the borders at Ukraine. And it's by Chef Andre, I believe his name is, who's this wonderful progressive chef. Who knew there were progressive chefs? But just like sports figures are using their skills to make a stand for peace, so are chefs. So his chef's kitchen is over there in Ukraine right now cooking food for people at the border. So we're going to donate to that, and we want to honor our beloved, beautiful Bon with an honoring of her work. Artists do not live by spirit alone. So we're going to be sending her a donation. So the PayPal address is being put in the chat momentarily, and you can also do it snail mail. And thank you for your wonderful cards that I keep getting from you with your snail mails. They're just so much fun. I'm trying to just find one to hold up to the screen. Here's a beautiful one but so many lovely, lovely cards. So please do donate as you are able. It makes a big difference. I couldn't do these evenings without the donations for, not that I actually myself don't receive a lot of them, but I just have so many connections internationally with women, especially, who really can use this money, and we've made a lot of donations. So please stay if you can for about 5 more minutes, and we're going to hear Bon, and then we're going to do a very quick closing song. So Bon, please come on back.
Okay, did you want to do that chant though? Did you?
Yeah, we'll do that after you do
Okay,
a song.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is called Sirik Sumirkak. It's kind of mystical. It's kind of hard to actually translate, but it's like these young women in the dusk, in the sort of smoky, misty dusk, who are waiting for their honeys by a tree, and those guys never show up because they never do. They never have.
Oh, Bon.
That's the translation. No, I'm going to take it down. Сверик сумерка затаилась я, девичья тоска под большою небою, что я паренька жду я не дождуся, блеска его глаз, узнаю, не придет он, ведь не в первый раз. Шелестит листва, разговаривая, словно ждет того. Знать она со мною ждет друга моего. Ой, подруженьки, помогите мне, девичьей судьбе, отыскать любимого. Я не знаю, где. Жду я не дождуся, блеска его глаз. Не придет он, ведь не в первый раз. Ночь спустилась, лунный свет упал на траву в росе. Липа красавица, что же делать мне? Жду я не дождуся, блеска его глаз. Узнаю, не придет он, ведь не в первый раз.
Oh my goodness.
Ведь не в первый раз means, yeah, not the first time.
It sounds so much sweeter in Russian. It sounds so
does.
sweet and tender.
It does.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
that morning thing. It's like,
Yeah.
being let down time and time again. Also, not just their plight. Definitely
Yes.
women all over the world, huh?
Yes. Oh, there's so many songs like that of the woman who's wronged and left, and
Yeah.
seduced and abandoned. All of that, and they're true. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, on that happy note, we're going to sing a very short blessing song to the people of Ukraine and Russia. And if you want to, again, bring your candles forward into your screen, that could be a really lovely thing. And I had a beautiful 7-minute meditation and music by Thich Nhat Hanh that I was going to play during the program for us all to just sit, just breathe. And I couldn't do it, didn't have time. I'm going to do it right when this is over. Instead of our usual hanging out and chat, I'm going to just put it on. And anybody who wants to stay, it is beautiful. And I think you will find your whole system calm down even more. So if you want to stay, I'm going to do that once we say a quick goodbye. This is a song by Melanie DeMore. Many know it very well. So we are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. Bon, thank you so much. What a beautiful, beautiful night. Please give her another, something. Just so lovely. And, maybe when there isn't a disaster going on in Eastern Europe, we'll have you back just for fun. Thank you, everybody. Keep on keeping peace and keep on taking care of yourselves. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love.
We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We're sending you light to hold you.
Sing with us. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love.
We are sending you light to hold you, to heal you. We are sending you light to hold you.
Once more, we are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending Is anybody hearing sound? I'm not.
lắng lặng nghe lắng lặng nghe tiếng chuông huyền diệu đưa về nhất tâm. May the sound of this bell penetrate deep into the cosmos. Even in the darkest spots, living beings are able to hear it clearly, so that all suffering in them cease, understanding come to their heart, and they transcend the path of sorrow and death. nguyện người nghe tỉnh thức vượt thoát nẻo đau buồn. The universal Dharma door is already open. The sound of the rising tide is heard clearly. The miracle happens. A beautiful child appears in the heart of a lotus flower. One single drop of this compassionate water is enough to bring back the refreshing spring to our mountains and rivers. Nghe chuông phiền não tan mây khói, lặng thân an miệng mỉm cười. Hơi thở nương chuông về chánh niệm vườn tâm hoa tuệ xinh tươi. Listening to the bell, I feel the afflictions in me begin to dissolve. My mind calm, my body relaxed. A smile is born on my lips. Following the sound of the bell, my breath brings me back to the safe island of mindfulness. In the garden of my heart, the flowers of peace bloom beautifully. Phổ môn vọng tiếng triều dưng bé thơ xuất hiện giữa lòng đóa sen. Cơm lộ một giọt rưới lên xuân về trên khắp mọi miền núi sông. Phổ môn vọng tiếng triều dưng bé thơ xuất hiện giữa lòng đóa sen. Cơm lộ một giọt rưới lên xuân